Sacramento well-known director and cinematographer, Aaron Leong. How you doing today, Aaron?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for being on the show. Definitely somebody that I wanted to sit down and talk with. Like I said, I know that earlier in the year you did our directors panel, but I've never actually got to sit down and talk with you. So somebody that I always wanted to just kind of pick your brain a little bit and just kind of get right into it. How did you get into directing? How did you get into cinematography?
I actually kind of fell into it. I was actually going to school for pre-dental, and I was about a physics lab away from graduating and changed my major to theater.
Okay.
And gave my parents a heart attack.
I was gonna say, didn't your parents, like everyone in your family was in like the pharmaceutical?
Oh yeah, they're pharmacy
and
lawyers.
Here you're like,
and
I'd like to
I want to do theater.
be in entertainment.
They're like, let's go to lunch. I'm like, ooh, okay. But it worked out. It worked out. Yeah. So I went to SF State for theater. I did a double emphasis in performance and directing.
Okay.
And I was an actor for several years, and then got into film, and went back to film school. So I studied film, and then continued my cinematography training down in LA with some pretty well-known cinematographers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well.
So in terms of being a cinematographer or DP or being the actual director, do you have a preference in terms of the grand scheme of things, in terms of?
I always say my head is in cinematography, but my heart is in directing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah. I'm always thinking about, how to
frame it,
shoot something, how to put it together and tell a story visually, but, as a director, you kind of it's gotta fit. It's gotta all fit.
Right. Yeah. So many pieces to the puzzle.
Oh yeah.
So I know you make a lot of features, but you also do other work in the film world and also just in terms of cinematography. Can you kind of explain a little bit of some of the other things that you do? Or
yeah. So I mean, in this industry in Sacramento, it's not like you can concentrate on one thing. I do a lot of work in camera department. So I do Steadicam op. I've DIT'd before, first AC. But you also work in different genres too. So reality TV, corporate stuff, commercials, but documentaries, of course. But my favorite by far is narrative. I mean, that's kind of what we all get into film for, right? To shoot movies and tell stories. But
tell the story.
there isn't enough here to pay the bills to just stick with that one thing. So
Yet.
It's
coming.
So I know, in terms of feature films, I know you did, I believe it was Mama Boy and Notorious Nick.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit maybe about how you got involved in those films and how you were chosen or selected to be the director for those films?
Yeah, so the producer for Mama Boy met me at a film festival. He saw one of my films in the festival that he had a film in, and was like, hey, I really liked that film, and I liked the look of it. So he contacted me, said he has this movie that he wants to do. He has funding, sent me the script. And when I sent my feedback, he's like, you know what? I think you're right on all these counts. So it'd be great to get you on board to direct this film. And so we did. That was Mama Boy. And then Notorious Nick, I was brought on to camera op one of their previous films. And in the process of shooting that movie, they asked me to interview to direct Notorious Nick.
Oh, that's very cool.
So I mean, it
came in to do some camera work, and next thing you know, you're directing like a feature film. Yeah.
They kind of knew my background, so
So it wasn't like it was a big surprise. We're like, oh wow, this guy can wow, look at this guy.
He's really good.
Yeah. So they interviewed me, and sure enough, they hired me to direct it. So.
Well, and that turned out so amazing. Such a
fun.
great movie. Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It's a great story too. I mean, just an underdog
story.
Yeah.
So motivational, and that's Notorious Nick, so everyone can look it up on IMDb and check it out.
Yeah, I think it's on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
And it's based on a true story, right?
Based on a true story. Yeah. One-armed MMA fighter who won a title.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I heard that seemed particularly challenging because of the what you shot in. I heard like somehow the after effects were a little hard to piece.
Oh yeah, the visual effects. So it's a one-armed character played by a 2-armed actor.
Right.
So
It's kind of hard to find a one-armed
Yeah.
actor for a whole
Right.
film. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And so we came across Cody Christian, who really wanted to be in a fight movie, and it all worked out. I mean, he was fantastic to work with. Did a lot of his own stunts.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, we had a green sleeve to kind of track his arm during the takes, and in post we had somebody take his arm out, and it was a pretty extensive
that sounds
process.
like a tedious process.
Like a
you know?
frame
I mean,
by
I've done a
frame
little bit of editing, but I've
situation.
never done something because that's like frame by frame.
Frame by frame.
Every frame that he's in, you
Yeah.
have to go in and basically remove that arm.
That's right. 386 shots in the film, more than Star Wars.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I
Crazy.
I envy that guy.
it was a lot of work.
That's a tough job right there,
Yeah.
man. So what are you? What's going on now? What do you got? Anything working on? Anything cooking?
I'm working on a couple documentaries, and there's a couple of features next year that they're starting to put together and get funding for. So hopefully they'll get greenlit for that, and we'll chug along on that.
I think everybody and their grandma worked on that, but you also did some work on. You Had a Bad Day series as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
I know we're going to be talking with Sally in a
That's
little
right,
bit, but
yeah.
you did some work on that one. What did you do on that project?
I was the DP on that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
So they, we hired a whole crew and got people to come out and pitch in a little bit of work. And
Yeah, like every time I talk to somebody, they're like, "Yeah, I did this on that film or that project. I did this on that project." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Who didn't work on that project?" I was
Yeah.
like, "That's very cool."
They pulled in a lot
the
of people.
community was able to get together. I think it's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing that so many people came together for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
That's amazing.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see that too.
It's fun.
yeah,
It's
very
fun.
cool. So, last question for you, just in terms of like any dream projects, any passion projects that you really want to do. If you just had the funding, you would go ahead and make that film, or
An action film, obviously. I'd love to direct an action film, a fight film, other than Notorious Nick. Notorious
right.
Nick was fun. That was
Right.
like a really great stepping stone.
right?
But something with like martial arts, and that'd be really cool.
You're looking to do like a John Wick type thing,
Yeah,
or something
or
crazy,
a western.
or-
Yeah, I'd
Oh
really
my
love to shoot a
goodness.
western too, or
Yeah, I
direct
feel
a
like
western. Yeah.
I feel like a good western
That'd be
is
fun.
due actually.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I would love to see
Alright.
that. I'm a big fan of westerns.
manifest
so,
it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kathleen could help with that. Get me a
Yeah,
spot.
there you
up
go.
Right.
There you go. It's people helping people. That's what we do around
Location.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anybody, if there's a producer out there and they're like, you know what, I would love to have this guy direct our next western, or
Yeah.
what's the best way they can find you? What's the best way they can get a hold of
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm at Aaron M. Leong on Instagram, all over Facebook. So yeah,
you? Not too hard to find.
not hard to
Yeah,
find at
you're
all.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Well, I greatly appreciate you, man, being on the show and doing this for us. Just like I said, just somebody I always wanted to talk to, somebody that's well respected here in the
Right
film
on,
community.
appreciate it.
And so, yeah, thanks for doing the show, man. We'll definitely have you
Absolutely.
back again, and we can talk about the next projects you're working on.
absolutely. Anytime.
Thanks again.
Thank you